Hello ladies and gentlemen, I'm Rise the Phoenix, and in this video we're going to be talking about my opinion on which commanders should be given respect items like this pipeweed over here that could be given to two or more commanders. We'll do the first bit on T1 and T2 good factions, then we'll talk about T1 and T2 evil factions. We'll skip over tier 3 commanders because every single tier 3 commander has their own respect item, so you just give it to the T3 commanders that you want to invest in. Welcome back everyone. I figured the easiest way to do this was to pull up the full list of respect items via our Matham chest here. We'll just go down the list and knock these out one by one. I will say that these are my opinions. I'm not always correct. However, at least for the good side factions, I think I do have a pretty good feel for which of these commanders is the best. So for Olympus, I would absolutely recommend that you invest this in Haldir instead of Boromir. I've never been super impressed by Boromir, and if you want some motivation to invest in Haldir, go check out my video of Haldir completely dunking on Witch Kings. It's not my Haldir, but it did inspire me to start investing in my Haldir, and I've gotten some pretty awesome results from him so far. Moving on to Pipeweed, this one is another super obvious one. Dwalin is just far and away way better than Merry and Pippin / Ori. Not even a contest here. Dwalin is one of the best tier 1 commanders in the game. I hope that you guys have not been giving your Pipeweed to anybody but Dwalin. And superior horse armor is sort of another blowout. I was a fan of Faramir back when Oathbreakers had a 100% chance to evade or avoid physical damage, but now that they just take 90% reduced physical, his usefulness has significantly dropped because one of his skills would allow his army to ignore the fact that Oathbreakers were ignoring physical damage, effectively ignoring. I mean, 100% chance to avoid, that is ignoring physical damage. Well, now that they've been changed, obviously the best choice with superior horse armor is Eowyn. Just like Dwalin, she is a phenomenal tier 1 commander. You will get a lot of value out of her. Moving on to our purple respect items, we have the Malorn Leaf. This comes down to what you want out of a commander. Legolas is a competitive damage dealer and is quite solid in PvP. Arwen, I really like her for PvE and bosses. If you need a commander that's good at taking tiles, I would say go with Arwen. If you need a commander that can deal a bunch of damage to kill off commanders like Gandalf, then take Legolas. Torn Pages, I think this is another pretty easy decision. Gimli is one of the best damage dealing commanders in the game. He also has a very strong unique item. Unless you're only ever going to play Erebor, in that case, Balin might be good enough. But for everybody else, if you're not going to play Erebor every single season 100% of the time, then I would say Gimli is the choice there. Old Wynyards only goes to Gandalf the Grey. Nothing to be said about that one. Secret Intel. So this is Éomer or Theoden. Theoden is far and away the best choice. However, Éomer is quite solid. He's a bit underestimated in my opinion. And I think his Respect 10 unique item is better than Theoden's Respect 10 unique item. If you're going to be pushing one of these guys to very high levels of respect, I think both are fine options. Theoden is going to crush people at Respect 5. Éomer is going to need a bit more investment to get that same level of performance, so do what you will with that one. Athelas, absolutely another blowout here. Aragorn II, T2 Aragorn is a competitive damage dealing commander. Denethor is just not very good. Enough said about that. And then the rest of these are actually solo commander respect items. Actually, I lied. Black Walnut Wood. Neither of these commanders is particularly good in my opinion, which is probably why I forgot about the fact that this was shared between them. In my opinion, with Black Walnut Wood and even with these mushrooms, just recycle them into vouchers and buy respect items for other commanders that you want. All right, guys, moving on to evil side commanders. The first up we have is Roast Warg Meat. My opinion, Gorbag is the best option here. Agzok can do quite a lot of damage though, so I think he is another fine choice. Personally, I tend to side with commanders like Gorbag, and when I played Evil Factions, I really enjoyed using Orc units. That's why I lean more towards Gorbag here, but Agzok is a perfectly viable option. For the Dark Lord's emblem, this one is super easy. Grima is a fantastic tier 1 commander. The other guys are just not that good. And the Kine or Kine, I don't know how you say this, the Horn is absolutely a blowout yet again. Khaldun is just far and away miles beyond what Yusra or Maltok can do. Khaldun, like, I'm really starting to think that he is the best tier 1 commander in the game. This guy is just a monster. If you have him, I beseech you to take him to respect 5 plus as soon as possible. He is fantastic. As far as purple respect items go, Alerts is the only one that can get the oil, and Gothmog is clearly the winner over Grishnak here. Grishnak is so bad that he gets his own place below F tier in tier lists. Gothmog is a perfectly viable commander and the best siege commander in the game if you need him to perform that role. Shadowy Substance. I'm gonna side with the Shadow here, honestly. I used to really like Kamul, and then I played Kamul in Season 2 and just got blown out of the water by a bunch of different commanders. I mean, he's fine for like early game stuff. He's quite competitive in Season 1, but the Shadow, once you get him to respect 5 and above and get some good gear on him, he can seriously start dealing a lot of damage, and he can buff his army's damage as well, which gives him a little bit more, I guess, dynamism or flexibility than a commander like Lurtz, who completely relies on himself to deal damage. The Numenorian Tincture, I would definitely say, goes the way of Mouth of Sauron. If you don't play on RP servers, Azru Core might be a perfectly fine choice, as then he could have access to powerful, good side ranged units. If you play on RP, I think while Mouth of Sauron is not a great commander in my opinion, he does have uses, particularly against Witch Kings, Gandalf the Grey, commanders like that. He's excellent with Reapers as well. His flaw is that like damage dealing commanders tend to just shred him because of the way his R3 title works. It only affects normal attack damage. It doesn't actually reduce skill damage from the enemy commander, which is really awkward. So anyway, I would still send the Black Numenorian tinctures his way. Orcish tincture only goes to Ugluk or Uglak, however you say that. Bellstrap, man, I really wanted to love Adune. For any of you that watched like one of my really old chest opening videos where I was pushing for Respect 5 Adune, oh, I really wanted her to be good. She was not good. She was terrible. Don't waste your time with her, in my opinion, unless you just really want to. Zagrid actually has quite a respectable position in the metagame, in that he is very good against cavalry commanders, and he is very good at dealing damage on his own. Then these last two are one-offs as well. So that's it for this video, guys. I hope you enjoyed it and learned something useful. Let me know what you think about my opinions on which respect items should go to which commanders down in the comment section below. I'll see you in the next one. Rise of the Phoenix, over and out.